Tuscaloosa Saturday, Alabama defeated Arkansas 38-14. Arkansas's prolific offense only managed 226 yards, and Razorback quarterback Tyler Wilson averaged only 5.3 yards per attempt. Has Alabama established itself as the team to beat in the SEC?
I think right now, with the emergence of Florida now, there are about 4 teams to beat in the SEC. But I'm going to stick with my preseason pick of Alabama being the team to beat in the SEC. And I say that because right now, Saban and his boys are punishing people on the road and at home more than any team in the SEC. And with Richardson averaging 6 yards a carry and then Eddie Lacy coming out of nowhere to average 9 yards per carry, I would say that the running back duo of Trent Richardson and Lacy is even more talented than the duo that Florida has in Chris Rainey and Jeffrey Demps. What do you think, Jonathan?
I am going to disagree with you on this one. It seems every week we ask this question, is it LSU, is it Alabama? Year in and year out, both teams are competitors, but I honestly think, for whatever reason, I don't have a reason, just a gut feeling, Alabama will lose to Florida this weekend. It will be LSU's race to lose.
I have to agree with you, Jonathan. I mean, for once, I'm on your side. I really think Alabama is going to lose to Florida. Like I said, the Swamp, every week I talk about it, the Swamp is a place to play in, and I think Florida has home field advantage. They got that momentum that they lost last year. I think they're ready to beat Alabama. They're ready to be even more on the map than they already are. They want to be Florida and defined as Florida. So I really think it'll be interesting. And speaking of defining teams, LSU went on the road to Morgantown Saturday and defeated West Virginia 47-21. Even though the defense allowed over 500 yards of offense to the Mountaineers, they forced 4 turnovers, and the Tiger offense had none. After the win, LSU moved to #1 ranking in the AP poll. Do they deserve it?
Absolutely. And the reason why, Morgantown is one of the toughest venues to play in college football. LSU went in there, made it look easy, up 20 at halftime. Geno Smith throws for 463 yards, but LSU still wins by 26 points. They forced an offense that had only turned the ball over 3 times the entire season to turn it over 4 times in one game. I like LSU this year.
And Jonathan, I'm going to disagree with you there because
Bring it. Come on, let's
here
go.
Here comes, Jonathan. I think that Alabama's victories over Penn State and Arkansas this past weekend are actually more impressive than their victories than LSU's victories.
You cannot.
Yes, I can.
No.
And you know what? Michael James went down in the 3rd quarter, and after that, Oregon was not the same football team. Mississippi State counts as a ranked victory. A ranked team victory.
LSU has defeated 3 teams.
Hey, I think
3 ranked teams already.
Am I turning on the script right now? Okay. Mississippi State, not the team that everybody thought we were preseason, so I got to go with Alabama's wins being more impressive. They're #1.
As long as you're satisfied with being wrong.
Whatever. Excellent. Well, thank you for that, Jonathan.
You're welcome.
When we come back, we'll discuss who wins a big game this weekend in the Swamp, and later we'll sit down with someone who will give a little insight into what goes on behind the scenes at Mississippi State on game day.
Welcome back. The Alabama Crimson Tide traveled to the Swamp Saturday for a matchup of undefeats with the Florida Gators. Alabama dominated the Gators in Tuscaloosa last season, holding the Gators to only 6 points. Does Florida have the team this year to get past Alabama?
Well, Crystal, I think Florida finally has that team to beat Alabama. Last year, I don't think you can judge the Gators on how they played last year because, as everyone at this table knows, it was a little embarrassing for Gator Nation. But I think with their new head coach, they're really turning around this year, and I think they're going to pull out the win. And once again, I sound like I'm doing the Gator chomp all the time, but the Swamp. It's a place to play. Florida has a home field advantage. I really think they're going to win, and it's going to put Alabama back.
I mentioned it earlier. I think Florida does too. Florida's just as talented as last year's team, but this year they have a system that works for their personnel. And John Brantley, much like Jarrett Lee and A.J. McCarron, playing efficiently. He's not putting up gaudy numbers, but he's playing efficiently. He's getting the job done, doing what Florida needs to move the ball on offense. Demps and Rainey, their speed could cause a lot of trouble for this Alabama defense.
Cool, and I like the way that you mentioned my boy A.J. McCarron and how good he is at managing the game.
I guess I set you up for that one.
I love you supporting me right there. And you know that they want the running backs, Demps and Rainey, to help Brantley set up the short passes so he doesn't have to be a Heisman candidate. Definitely doesn't have to be to win this game. But coming back, we'll sit down with MSU Director of Athletic Marketing, Chad Thomas, and let him tell you the intricacies of Bulldog game days.